What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. It's your boy, JangoMike. Hey, today's episode's kind of cool. I went out on the ocean this week and did some rockfish fishing, and it was pretty awesome. Anyhow, so this week I got to go rock fishing with my good buddy Jesse. He threw the idea out like, hey man, we gotta go. Like, it's been a hot minute since you fished. Let's just jump on a charter. So we decided to book a charter out of Newport Beach with Daveys Locker. We got on the boat, the Patriot, with Captain Mike, and they had a great crew.
I am the sea.
Deliver Colonel Sanders down to Davy Jones' locker.
I don't know if it's like a California thing, or maybe it's like any state that has like an ocean next to it. But I noticed that whenever people ask me if I fish and I say, yeah, I do a lot of bass fishing, everyone's like first response is like, you should fish the ocean too. Well, I do. Like, I do both. Like, I live in California. Of course I do both. But the thing is like, I just do more bass fishing because I live within 15 minutes of like 3 really awesome bass lakes. So to me, it just makes more sense to own a bass boat and fish these lakes 2 to 4 days a week all year long, right? Whereas like on the flip side, to go in the ocean, it's a little more work for me. Like, I have to drive quite a bit. I got to leave a lot earlier to get a good launch, to get in line, to get live bait, and then get out to those spots that can be way out there, you know? It's not that I don't enjoy that. I freaking love that. Like, ocean fishing is awesome. It's just like for my lifestyle, it just makes more sense for me to go bass fishing. So I just kind of wanted to throw that out because I always thought that's kind of like a funny response you get from people. And I'm kind of curious, do you guys get that too, right? Originally, I thought we were going to be doing like some of that tuna fishing that was going around. That was really hot around that time. And I also thought perhaps we would be fishing like the kelp beds. So my ocean rigs that I have, I kind of had them set up for that. But it turns out when I got there, they were actually going to have us do some rock fishing, which is a little bit different because you're way out there closer to Catalina Island, and you have to use like a much heavier rig, and it goes way down, like we're talking 400 plus feet. And I wasn't really prepared for that. I had one rig with monofilament, my spinning rod, and I had a bait caster with braided line. And luckily, there was enough line to fish those depths, but I kind of struggled at first. So I feel like my first portion of the morning, I spent really trying to figure out my gear. And also the technique was a little different. I wasn't used to it. I don't think I've ever really rock fished like this before. I've caught like fish off the bottom, like in the ocean, you know, like the kelp beds and whatnot, but never this far out, that far down. So that was a cool experience, but also like there was a learning curve for me. So, you know, just being that like I like to think that I'm a good fisherman, it kind of sucks to have to like humble yourself and shut up and listen and watch to see how it's done right, you know. But, you know, I figured it out, and my buddy Jesse and I, we both ended up maxing out, and we brought a lot of fish home. We already had a fish fry. It was freaking awesome. Good tasting fish.
Get in my belly!
The first half of the day, we did rock fishing, and the second half of the day, they were going to chase some tuna, which that didn't work out because the weather patterns changed, the water temps changed, a lot of those tuna were long gone. But it's totally fine because we had already maxed out on the rockfish anyways. I was sore as hell. Like, I'm still sore. It's been a few days and I'm still sore. So like, it's all good. It worked out. One of the cool side things about ocean fishing is the wildlife. I love like dolphins and seals. So when you're out there and you come across that stuff, it's really cool to watch. There was a point where we were kind of cruising out to a spot. There was a freaking huge pod of little dolphins or porpoises. I forget exactly what they were, but they were just everywhere. And like, I feel like as soon as they saw we were watching them, then they started doing like all these tricks and jumping out of the water and stuff, which is freaking awesome. Like, that's really cool. So the rockfish technique is pretty simple. You just have to have the right gear. And what I mean right gear is you probably want to use a bait caster, saltwater style, with a lot of line that has a good gear ratio to be able to reel it fast. You're dropping it like way down 400 feet. And they had us using like really heavy lead weights. I mean, I'm talking 12 ounces to 16 ounce weights, like real heavy stuff, which I didn't even have that stuff. Like, I had to borrow multiple weights to get the proper weight because it's got to go way down there and you don't want it to get caught in the current. But it's pretty simple. You know, you just, I used a fluorocarbon leader. I tied the lead weight on the very end, and then I had 2 hooks. There was either rigged with cut squid or a live anchovy. So eventually I started using both, and I was starting to get hit more with bigger fish off the anchovy. There was a guy next to me who was really good. Like, he really knew what he was doing. You could tell he goes there a lot. And he had his stuff like spaced out pretty far, and he was using like white chunks of squid. And he's the one that told me that, like, if you leave it too close to the bottom, you're going to catch too many little ones. But if you kind of raise it up a little higher off the bottom, you have a better chance of catching big ones. And I think he knew what he was doing, because he just kept catching big rockfish after big rockfish. So there was definitely some learning happening there. My buddy Jesse was killing it. I felt inferior. But once I take him bass fishing, then we'll see. We'll see who the man is, right?
You son of a bitch.
One of the things I like about ocean fishing is I prefer to eat most of the fish I catch from the ocean. But with freshwater, I don't really eat that stuff. Like the bass, I let go. Catfish, I let go. The only freshwater fish like I really keep to eat is either striped bass or trout. Every once in a while, if I'm feeling like, you know, like a wild caveman, I'll catch bluegill and crappie and eat those. But most of the time with freshwater, it's catch and release. But when it comes to ocean fishing, like I max out. I get my limit, because then I like to take that fish home and cook it, you know, and then you freeze it and it'll last a while. And a lot of those fish are pretty big, so you get some nice big fillets out of it, and you know, that's meals for days. That's pretty much it. I mean, simple trip, you know, straight up, really easy fishing. You can't go wrong with that kind of fishing. And then, like I said, at the end of the day, you get to take it home, and you got some food for the freezer. But hopefully I get hopefully I can get back out on the lake soon and get back to some bass fishing for y'all. I know most of the people that watch my fishing are watching for that. I'm dealing with some stuff at home. I got some repairs, some serious home repairs going on. That's just like occupying most of my time, but I'll be able to get back out there soon. You know, the September-October bite is pretty fun. I was looking at some footage from last year, like with some of the fluke minnow fishing, and it was a lot of fun. Caught some good fish. So hopefully we'll get out there soon. You know, in the meantime, you know, go fishing, go catch some fish, whether it's the ocean, freshwater, whatever. Just get out there and go fishing. Thanks.